Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande Roth, looking at a good Wednesday hump day hoedown, Dublin Deck 75, mix of sun and clouds, and perfect River Avenue in Patchogue with southbound starting at 6. We go 7 to 9. Just another great evening and a night out. Come hungry. They got an incredible menu and drink specials and all sorts of fun, Cande. So we'll be...
You know who's not having fun? People at the airports. You know, my friend Debbie, you know Debbie.
Yeah.
She was supposed to fly to London yesterday, and it was canceled. And then she tried to get another flight. No, couldn't get it. She can't go. She was going to meet her sister in London. Her sister lives in California. So now she's going to try to get a flight out today to California, at least to see her sister and hang out. But they couldn't get to London because of what's going on with the weather and the business at the airport. Some people have been stuck there all weekend up to today.
Yeah, you know, I know there's positive stories that go along with these negative stories, but you're absolutely right, and this is one of the reasons why we have not flown in a long time. And every time I think about, okay, where we're going to go, and right, if we're... Because, look, even if we want to take a cruise, we could take a cruise out of Florida. But
Absolutely.
The idea of spending the money for the stress and the hassle and maybe the cancellation at the airport when I could sail right out of New Jersey... it's crazy, Cande. People dealing with a lot of stuff.
The weather and the air, you know, it's just a combination that's, I feel, for the people. So if you're listening to us and you're sitting in an airport wondering, am I ever going to get out of here? We're with you.
Yeah, that's a terrible story. So does she get her money back? What happens there?
You know, we texted. I didn't want to ask her a lot of questions because she was, you know, upset about it. But I'll be in touch with her today. I don't know. I really don't know. I wish the best. I hope her and her sister get to at least spend time in California together. They've had this trip planned, as you can imagine, for quite some time.
Yeah, that would be terrible if that doesn't get to happen. Yesterday, and I will tell you in a second, I have to tell you about the story I teased earlier about the new anxiety people are talking about that everybody has. I'll get to that in a second. Yesterday, my world tour with my oldest child, Leah, continued. As you know, Sunday she came out to Daisy's
I didn't
Nashville
know you were
Lounge.
on a world tour.
It seems we're on a world tour.
Oh,
so
boy.
she wanted to come out with me to Daisy's Sunday. We had a great time, right? So
Right.
yesterday, she's in tennis camp every morning where she has to be at this camp. They start swinging at 8 in the morning. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So yesterday, they got a half hour in, and the rains came, so they had to call it off. They canceled the rest of the day. So she contacted me and said, listen, I know you're going to end up going into the office at some point. Tennis is canceled. I want to go with you. I don't want to sit in the house all day.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
So... I know you weren't there actually in the office. I took Leah into the office yesterday.
And how did that go? How long did you have to stay?
I was there for a couple hours, and we were actually, it was I had things to do, but it was also a stop-off in between there and going to pick up Abigail from her sleepover at Molly's house.
Oh, she decided to come back home, did she?
Yeah. She did. She, or my sister decided that she would come back home. Yeah. It was, as a matter of fact, it was so cute. So we get to the office, and someone else at the office on our La Fiesta station, 98.5, she had her 8-year-old daughter with her in the office.
Oh.
And she is such a sweet little girl, right? So she comes into the studio. Me and Leah are sitting there. She walks up to Leah. She introduces herself. And
that's so adorable.
So cute. And then now, you're not going to know the game probably, but she has her iPad with her, and she says, would you play Roblox with me? And Leah thought it was the cutest thing. So for the next hour, Leah's on her phone, the girl's on her iPad, and they're playing this kids game on...
Oh, that is so adorable. You know, I used to bring my kids to work quite often. They loved it for the first hour.
Right.
and then they take a nap because it was early in the morning. And, it was interesting for a little bit, but not the full 4 or 5 hours that I was
Right.
there.
Right. And an hour is good. Like one
Yeah,
hour is
one
is good.
hour, and then they were tired.
Yeah. But it was so cute. Her
That
and the
is so
8-year-old,
cute.
they're playing Roblox, and and she thought the girl was so cute. And she's been,
Introducing herself. That's adorable.
yeah. No, it was really sweet. And then we went and picked up Abigail and came home, and that's when my nap happened. My really good nap on the couch yesterday. All right, I gotta get to this story, and we know that in life, a lot of people, especially since technology and COVID, and there's a lot of things, people have been suffering with anxiety, different types of anxiety, right?
Right.
So there is a new type of anxiety that I saw that I said to myself, oh my God, everyone must have this. And it's called menu anxiety. Candy.
Menu?
You go to a restaurant, you pick up a menu, and it's so big. Anything, any type of restaurant, could be fancy restaurant, a diner, whatever. You pick up a menu. Candy, when you pick up a menu at a restaurant, don't you feel, even if it's a touch of anxiety, don't you feel pressure? Like, oh my God, what am I going to have? What am I going to order?
I have felt that pressure at a diner when they hand you a book. And there is so much to look at.
Yes. And then you might even say to yourself, if the waiter or waitress comes around to me, I'm going to tell them to go to somebody else or tell them to come back or give me another 5 minutes. This is a real thing. Every time I go to a restaurant, because I always look for my go-to meals, right? If we're at an Italian restaurant, I might look at chicken francese or, a piece of salmon, but then I say to myself, but wait, I get that all the time. I need to find something else, and it creates this panic. You've felt that panic, haven't you?
I have felt that panic, and the last time Brian and I were in a diner with one of those menus that never ends, and I was going to get what I like, a hot open turkey sandwich, but I felt like you did. That's what I always get. Let me try something else. And I didn't like it.
So, what are we stressing about when we can't decide? The most common answer is taste. That's the thing holding us up. We think about, oh, how's this going to taste? Am I in the mood for
Right.
this?
It's always the mood, right?
Right. So, taste is number one. The price is number two. I'll tell you, that is definitely today, in today's world, that is an anxious thing, because if you're sitting there and you see something that, back in the day cost $12 is now $21, you're saying in your mind, right? Like, how can I order this piece of food? How am I doing this, right?
You have to brace yourself before you walk through the door, I think.
It's so true. It's incredible. So taste is number one, price is number two, and how long it'll take to make is the third piece of anxious thinking when it comes to that. So.
Yeah, I can see it. I could see that I've had that kind of anxiety. We went out, my girlfriends and I, not that long ago, and Ellen was hemming and hawing over what to get, and she finally ordered a lobster roll, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, so if you're going to go to lobster or something that is that expensive, you better be sure you're at the right place or it's going to taste right, because there's nothing worse than getting an expensive meal and it doesn't,
Yeah.
fulfill you, right?
Yeah, I could tell that it wasn't working for her. My meal was fabulous.
What did you get that day?
I got octopus with lentils. It was so delicious.
Interesting. All right. Octopus with lentils. I never, never would have thought of that. Never would
Yeah,
have pegged you for
delish.
that.
I happen to love it.
Mm.
Evan says it's wrong of me to eat octopus after watching my octopus teacher. He's upset with me over that.
You know what? I thought you were going to go a different route. Like, he's like, oh, you don't want to hurt animals and whatever. And I was going to tell Evan to get over it, but he's right, because you talk about my octopus
Yep.
teacher a lot.
He watched it per my suggestion. He loved it. He went out to dinner like a day later, and one of the people he was with ordered octopus, and he was so put off,
Mm-hmm.
he almost couldn't sit through the meal.
Yeah, and if you don't know what this is, we're talking about this Netflix documentary, which should still be on Netflix, called My Octopus Teacher, about a guy who creates a friendship over a year with
Every day for 365 days.
this octopus. They're like friends. Crazy. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I'm glad Evan brought that up. You should
Yeah,
not be ordering that candy. No.
I know, but it was so good. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
you have no soul. It's
I have
true.
no soul.
Amazing. Less than 20 minutes to your bald and the beautiful entertainment. Everything from Nashville to Hollywood. We got Big Dublin Deck tonight. Southbound will be live. We'll be there. Wheel of prizes, food, drink, and fun. It all starts at 6. We get there at 7. Let's hit the roads. My Country 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.